The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Hoppe Hour.
What up? What is happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And this interview I'm about to do does not seem like real life. I've been a fan of this guy and listening to this guy for a whole decade now. Live at Side Splitters is Jim Norton, comedian and co-host of the Opie and Jim Norton Show on SiriusXM Radio. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Hoppe. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? How honored are you to be sitting on the best local podcast in Tampa?
Well, it was one that I lobbied to get on, and they told me that Cowhead wanted me, and I said I will only do Cowhead if he can somehow connect me to you, and he did, and he hates that I still call him Cowhead, but I will not call him Mike Calta until he acknowledges how great you are.
What did you see in me this morning? Because I was a bit nervous.
Yes.
Now I'm a little more chill because I'm 2 beers in, but I was really twitchy and shaky. What did you see in me when you're like, fine, fuck it, I'll do a few minutes?
Well, you seem like one cool customer. You didn't seem nervous at all. You wore the C-3PO mask with dignity. So I figured anyone that can walk around in the Star Wars mask and pull it off that beautifully must be very comfortable to talk to in a podcast setting.
Hell yeah. How did the first 2 shows go? Like, what is the vibe like? Because here in Tampa Bay, we embrace our comedy, so I can imagine you killed it out there.
Very good crowds. I went out of order, so a couple of times I lost my place because I wasn't sure. I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah. I'm trying new stuff up front. So I'm actually, as we're talking, I'm actually thinking about the Star Wars stuff that I forgot to talk about.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. I love this audience and great shows so far.
What's it like when maybe you go over your words, like you're not in the zone? How do you recover so you don't have a bad show? Like, let's say the first few jokes don't go as well as you planned. How do you recover?
Well, you always want the audience. You have to present it like this is going exactly as I planned. Yeah. Usually, I sort of acknowledge it, and that makes it comfortable for them. But a lot of times, you have to just keep going and realize that they're there to see you, and you're going to get them. But luckily, I haven't had a terrible show like that in a long time.
Do you do something where you read the audience and you see what the demographic is, and you'll figure out if they'll like the jokes?
No, never. Because if you paint a picture and you hang it in a museum, you don't change the picture when people come to look at it. Yeah. It is what it is. So I only have something to give. It's my material. It's my act. So, I can't really change it enough to please people in the audience if they're inclined to not like it. So I kind of just have to do what I do.
How often do you come up with new jokes? Are you observational? Because you travel a lot. So do you see things at the airport or in life that you observe and use in your comedy? Or is it the same routine in each city?
No, I mean, you build on it and you do the same routine. Yeah. I do stuff about a year, and then I'll usually, film it, and then I'm done with the material. So I'm going to hopefully shoot this in April or May. So now I'm really trying to tighten it up and see what do I want to keep in the special, what's too topical. If it's too topical, it's no good, because then by the time it airs, I can't talk about, do you think Trump will win the presidency? Because if I shoot that, by the time it airs, we already have a president. Yeah. So, you got to kind of realize that topical stuff has a shelf life.
How amazing would it be for you if he were to win in November?
I would love him to win just because I know half the country really hates him. So I think it'd be fun to watch people grappling with dealing with this non-politician. I really hope he wins.
What would happen if he were to win? I think you said this morning on Mike Calta that nothing would change, because I feel like nothing's going to change when it comes to everything in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know shit about politics. I'm just saying I kind of got the vibe that he wouldn't really ruin the country as badly as people want to make it out to be.
No, because he can't, because you need the Congress and the Senate, and both parties hate him. The Republicans are not happy that he's doing so well, and the Democrats hate him. So he would have a hard time. He couldn't just go in and ruin everything. He could say some things that would upset a lot of people. The way he spoke about foreign leaders would probably bother them. I haven't seen any compassion in him. I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but you want a president who can really show some compassion, like during school shootings and things like that. Like, you want anger, but you also want compassion. So I'd be interested to see that side of him.
That's a good point, because when you see Trump, it just seems like he's always ranting and trying to be the outspoken guy in the room, but I haven't really heard him say anything where you go, you can relate to him. He just seems like he wants to be the smartest and loudest dude in the room.
Yeah, the quality that people relate to is that, wow, that guy has balls. He's saying what I want to say. But that's not enough. That's not enough to make you the president. Obama, whether people like him or hate him, there's a humanity to him that people they relate to. George Bush, like him or hate him, he had a fucking down home, hey, you know, they related to something in him. He's not a perfect student. He was not a perfect speller. Trump has really very little that's relatable. He's a billionaire. He's the guy that most of us fucking hate because he's the guy that runs over us. So he better find some compassionate qualities, the things that make him connect, or he's going to have a hard time winning.
Now, has he ever sat in on your radio show before?
No, but he's called in, and I've met him a couple times. I met him at his roast, and I did the Tonight Show with him one time.
And what's he like in person? Is he cool, or is he kind of a bigwig? You know what I mean?
He was a bit of a cold fish. He wasn't a bad guy, but he wasn't very open with me. But again, he didn't know me, so we said hello. And I know his son pretty well. Donald's a friend of mine, Donald Jr., so I like him a lot.
Who are some of the worst celebrities you've ever met? Like, there's legendary ones like Jesse Ventura, but who are some recently when you're like, come on, what the hell's wrong with you?
I didn't dislike Jesse nearly as much as I disliked Paris Hilton. She was just a fucking vapid idiot, really boring, really self-involved. I mean, Jesse and I didn't get along, but at least he was a Navy SEAL. I mean, at least Jesse was a governor. He's a contributor. Yeah. We just didn't see eye to eye. Our personalities clashed, but I still respect him. Paris Hilton I had very little respect for. Ludacris we interviewed. He was not very open. I wish he had been more fun. He was a little defensive. Yeah. Not awful. He wasn't a dick, but he was a guy that I thought would be better than he was. A few guys I was hoping would be better. Very few have been total dicks.
What do you guys do to get the most out of porn actresses? Because they're just known for having sex on camera. And you guys make it entertaining, like when you make bits with like Bobo back in the day or David the Intern. So what is the key to getting something out of someone who isn't really known for having talent?
Well, I think that we have to be honest about the fact that they are doing something that is actually hard to do. Like, it's real easy. I hate when, like, these shock jock douchebags attack porn girls because they're easy targets. It's like, you know what? They're in $1 billion business. Yeah. People pay to watch them fuck. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. So I like to talk to them like I admire them. And I don't think you need to talk to them like they're these idiots. Like, yeah, your dad's disappointed. Really? Like, as opposed to your dad, you're fucking doing a local radio show in Des Moines, Iowa? What do you think? Your fucking folks are proud, too? So it kind of annoys me when people attack them.
Now, have you ever had the chance? It's the biggest thing in life if you get to fuck someone in porn. Have you been given that honor in life?
Yes, with Brie Olson. I had sex with Brie Olson.
You had sex with Brie Olson?
I did, yeah. And I talk about it in my act. And she and I have been open about it. It's not like I'm telling tales out of school. She doesn't care. And it was very lovely. It was really nice sex. There was a lot of kissing. She was amazing. I would have married Brie Olson. She's phenomenal.
Did you think, though, that now you're Eskimo brothers with Sheen? Does that feel a little fucked up?
No, but I feel kind of guilty. I'm like, I think I got the whole HIV thing started. Thank God Bree's negative. So I'm like, all right, I didn't give it to him because I won't go for an AIDS test. So she's negative, which means that I'm negative. I didn't give it to Charlie.
Now, Jim, you're a very observational guy. You're very smart. You can tell that I'm goofy. I'm awkward. I'm not exactly the most normal guy. And when it comes to being around women, I get nervous. Sure. I get awkward, and I don't know what to say. I feel like when you were my age, maybe you were better at getting laid, but you were a little similar. What do I need to do to just fit in public and get the girls to come to me?
It's an illusion. Confidence is an illusion. So just, you're a big dude. Just be confident. Be nice to them. Be a comforting guy. Yeah. They'll feel safe around you. Don't be goofy like they're doing you a favor. Hang out with them like you can protect them. What are you, 6'6"?
6'8".
Yeah, there you go. You're a big guy. Women like that. They'll think you're a ball player. Wear a fucking basketball jersey. Walk around in a Laker jersey and tell them that you're fucking, you hurt your knee, so you're on the bench this year.
Yeah.
And then fuck all of them because they'll think they're getting basketball player money.
What were some of the pickup lines that you would use back in the day? Would you lie and say maybe that you were in Senate or something? Like, what was the way that you would fuck a girl by lying at the bar?
No, nobody would have bought that I was in Senate. I was wearing a fucking Kiss t-shirt. No, I probably would have, my opening line was, hey, are you working? And they'd say, yeah. I'd say, how much? And they'd say 20. And I'd say, hop in. That was how it usually went. So I was really foolproof.
Do you ever regret how many hookers you fucked back in the day? Or is it one of the things where you're just like, that was the era of my life?
You mean back in the day? It's not something I've stopped. So, no, I never regret it. A lot of times I'm nice to hookers. I don't mistreat them. I don't abuse them. It's actually probably saved me from getting a fan pregnant or doing something really irresponsible. The only thing with prostitution you regret is, like, I hope that I don't like to feel like I'm victimizing anybody. Like, I'm a dirty guy, but I don't like to victimize people. So I'm like, fuck, man, I hope that, like, I know some of those girls are probably doing it for the wrong reasons. So sometimes I feel bad about that.
What's it like after you guys, like, finish? Do you say thank you and you shake hands? How awkward is it after you guys have both climaxed?
First of all, both climax. It's always me coming, and they just fucking have a fake smile on their face. They never come with me. I give them a hug. I'm very nice. I'm like, I'm really glad you came. It's not awkward. It's actually comfortable because I don't feel ashamed of it. Neither do they. So afterwards, I'll be like, that was really nice. Thank you for being here. And they'll be they like that you pay them, you treat them well. I'm a clean-cut guy. I smell okay. So, they're safe when they're at my house. So I'm always a gentleman.
Now, would you ever want to get married? Because you're about 45 years old now.
47.
Okay, if you're 47 years old now, and would you want to get married or have kids? Or is it one of those things where since you're getting a bit older, you're just kind of like, it's not for me?
No, I wouldn't mind getting married. I don't know about kids. But, I'm kind of tired of a lot of the perversion. It's boring after a while.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like anything. It's like eating pizza every day. You're like, all right already. So a part of me thinks I'd like a real relationship now. It's been a while. So, I think I'm ready.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Like a threesome or Eiffel Tower? Like, what's one thing you look back on when you're like, Jesus Christ, that was pretty crazy?
I told a girl I loved her, and I gave her a hug. That was the craziest thing I ever fucking did. I thought I could make it work. Craziest thing I ever did was think that I could be in a relationship years ago without cheating. That was the craziest thing. But I've been pissed on. I've done all that stuff. I've tried a lot of the fetish stuff.
Cleveland, the one?
Nah, I mean, I've tried that, but it's a little icky, so I'm not a big Cleveland guy. Strap-ons, all that stuff, I kind of, I like the idea more than actually doing it. It's just fun to talk about it with a girl. But I'm very verbal with the girl, but a lot of the stuff I've tried a little bit here and there, but I'm not as crazy as people think.
Yeah, you seem like one of those guys where sex is supposed to be fun. Like, I feel like a lot of people would look down on you for your perversion, but it's like, if you want to live that type of life where you fuck anything that breathes, why not?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're honest about it, I don't fuck anybody underage. I'm not, and again, I'm not into forcing people to do what I want them to do. I'm not going to lie to you to fuck you. I'm not going to get you drunk or slip you something like fucking good guy Bill Cosby. So I'm just a dirty guy, and if somebody likes that, then we connect. And if they don't, then they'll pass me by.
Like, after you pay them, do you ever say to yourself, man, I could have used that money on something else? Or do you go, well, I just jizzed. That's good.
Both. I feel like good, I did jizz, and I could have used that money on something else. But it's not the money. It's like, wow, man, I'm not having real connections with people. Like, like that time I spent with that girl, we had a sexual thing that didn't mean anything to either of us. It would have been nice if I spent that money on dinner with somebody who liked me, as opposed to somebody that just came because I had money. So sometimes I'm like, man, I kind of wish that was a dinner with a nice girl as opposed to that, what it was.
Now, it's not illegal unless you're in Nevada at the Bunny Ranch. Do you ever get nervous that you'll get caught and then you'll have your lame-ass mugshot on the cover of the New York Post with shock jock Jim Norton caught with a hooker? Or do you just not care and you know how to get away with it?
No, I mean, I'm not concerned about that. Because, again, I'm not doing anything horrible. I mean, if I got caught with a call girl, who'd give a fuck, really? Nobody would be shocked. You're not going to catch me doing anything like, oh my God, I can't believe Jim's into that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's nothing I haven't talked about that I do. So that's kind of the advantage to having all your stuff out there is, there's no surprises.
Now, going back to your comedy, is it ever hard when you're on the road for a while and then you go back to doing the show on SiriusXM? Do you feel like you're a little offbeat because you've been gone for a while, like there's a little rust? Or is it once the mic's on, you're back in the zone?
Yeah, no, it's just talking. I mean, with Opie, who I know for 15 years, so it's comfortable. And I go, I left Thursday. He did a show this morning. He doesn't always do a Friday show. Yeah. And then I'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday here. I'll fly home Sunday, and I'm back for the show. I'm at most of the shows.
Dude, how do you do it? Because I'm a guy where I have ADD, ADHD, and bipolar, so I take sleeping meds. So sometimes I need at least 6 hours of sleep to have a good night. How do you do it where you just run on no sleep and you do radio? How do you get it done?
Well, a lot of times I'm not effective. I'm a bad sleeper, so a lot of times it affects me. Like tonight, I'm very tired because I didn't sleep well last night. I did Mike's show this morning. I napped a little bit, but I'm a poor sleeper, so I'm very tired tonight, so it does affect me. I can't do it without any consequences, and the older you get, the harder it is to pull all-nighters.
Isn't it annoying when you're trying to sleep and you keep having dreams, and in your dreams you're like, why am I not sleeping deeper? That's what happens to me all the time, is I don't sleep well, dude. I don't know if it's because of my ADHD, but I'm just so hyper that I don't like sleeping. I don't know.
I love it when I can do it. I love waking up and realizing, wow, I really slept well. But lying there just fucking staring at the ceiling, and then I'm like, what do I do? And I look at my phone. Do I play chess?
Twitter.
It's fucking torture. Yeah, Twitter. The phone makes it hard. There's so many distractions. So, I've kind of grown to hate laying there wide awake. It's awful.
Now, what do you think of Twitter? I worked for Rover in Cleveland, and the fans went from loving me to hating me, so I'll get comments from them all the time. They're just hating. But you're on one of the biggest shows in the nation. Do you just get used to the hate and just laugh at it because they're hiding behind an egg profile picture?
Sometimes I'll block them. Sometimes I'll respond. But yeah, you get used to it, man. It's like, well, who gives a fuck? None of them say it to me in person.
Exactly. They're all pussies. When I worked for Rover in Cleveland, not one person at the bar said, fuck you, Hoppy, you goofball. They're like, can I get a selfie? Like, they never say it to our face.
Right, no, they don't. So you know what it's coming from. It's somebody who's using Twitter, like I've said before, it's LARPing. They're cosplaying. They're pretending like, wow, I'm the guy who can say what he really wants. But they're not that guy. They're the guy that is with a wife who they fucking do as they're told. They're with a boss who they hate and they never fucking have to speak their mind. So they have to go someplace and put on a Halloween costume, which is Twitter, so they can be this guy, snarky guy 220. They're not that guy in their real life. And there's something satisfying about knowing that.
And there's something where, their life is so sad. They have to type out the tweet. They have to make sure the grammar's good and then send it. Yeah. And then they keep refreshing, waiting for Jim Norton to reply. Like, what a sad life that you're either on your mobile phone or your computer waiting for someone to get back to you. Like, it's just, Twitter used to get to me, Jim, but now it's just like, you guys are losers. You know what I mean?
A lot of them are losers. And then there's valid criticism, too. I've had people say things that was like, oh, all right, that made sense. But you just kind of have to weed through the bullshit and, and the valid ones you can consider, and the other ones you just block.
Before I let you go, where can people see your upcoming tour? Because, dude, you have a lot of dates. I was looking at your Twitter, man. Wow.
Yeah, I got, thank you, Hoppy, for asking. I have it's called Mouthful of Shame, the tour, and you go to jimnorton.com under tour. All of my dates are there. I'm everywhere in the country, and I'm actually really enjoying my act this time.
Well, dude, keep up the good work, man. I'm not even trying to kiss your ass. You're one of my heroes for going into this business. So if you would have told me in 2006, when I was listening to 105.9 Free FM, that I'd be sitting at a comedy club in Florida talking to Jim Norton, I would have thought you're crazy, dude.
Well, I'm happy to talk to you. I think you're a fine broadcaster, and I'm happy that Mike Calter recognizes that as well and utilizes you to the fullest extent of your capability. So I think good job, and good job on the podcast.
Keep up the good work. I listen to you guys while I'm at the gym.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, have a good show tonight, Jim.
Thank you, Hoppy.
This has been Hoppe Hour. I'm your host, Ryan Hoppe.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.